Hello my loves, so welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to be doing a wrap-up video for what I read in the month of February. Now if I'm being honest, the first book that I read did not really get me off to a great start, but before we get into what I read, what I rated them, and my thoughts, I do want to mention that technically I only started reading on the 17th of February, so really it was like the last 11 days that I just really, is it 11 days? Yeah, 11 days, and I also am in the middle of another book, so it's the last 11 days, not the whole month of February. But with that all out of the way, I think we can begin with the wedding party. So I did a whole vlog on this one, so if you're interested to hear my thoughts like as I'm sort of reading it, I can leave that in the eye or in the description or both. I did a whole vlog on this one. There's nothing inherently wrong with it, but it's the same problem I typically have with all romance novels. It's the conflict for me, yo. It is the conflict for me. And like, I get it. We have to sort of test the relationship and we have to see, are they really compatible if they don't do well during conflict. But I felt like the conflict in this book was unnecessary. Like, for example, just for an example of some of the conflicts I have read, sometimes it's a misunderstanding, sometimes it's insecurities that's keeping them apart. In this case, they were just horrible to each other, and I get it, it's enemies to lovers, but enemies can be so much more than throwing things at each other. While I enjoyed this book, oh my god, did I even tell you what it was about? Oops. So it's about Alexa and her wedding. Well, it's not really about Alexa. It's about Alexa's wedding, and then of course you have Maddie and then Theo. They are Alexa's two best friends, and they are, you know, forced to be around each other because of Alexa's wedding, and you know, because they're enemies and not really the best of friends. Chaos ensues, and they are actually you know, enemies to lovers. You know what I'm getting at. But I just didn't like how the conflict in this was they were horrible to each other. Like, it, for me, it was, it's a conflict for me. You know, I don't like throwing mean words at each other for no reason. I didn't comprehend it, but I love Jasmine Guillory's writing. This is the third book. I'm so bad at this, sorry. This is my first wrap up. Bear with me. This is the third book in Jasmine Guillory's The Wedding Date. I think it's the Wedding Date series or the Wedding Date companion novels, and each one follows a different couple, but you get little bits of the previous couples in the next book. So in this one we had Alexa and Drew from the first book, and then we had Nick and Carlos from the second book, and then in the fourth book, which I just recently found out, she actually has 6 in this series. She will have 6 by the end of this year. So I imagine we'll get little Easter eggs of the next couple or this couple in the next book, and so on and so forth, which I am here for. I love companion novels I love companion novels for that reason, because I don't love series. I find that it is pretty difficult to keep up with them, so I would rather have a 100 book companion series than a 5-book series. I understand that that's an unpopular opinion, but that's how I feel. Okay, so the next book I read, I will pop up on the screen because I think I'm going to learn how to do that today, and if I don't, I'll just sort of show the cover over my face or something. I don't know. I'll insert the cover somehow. If I can't put it here, I'll put it across the whole screen. I don't know. This book is called Dead Day. So the premise of this book is it's sort of similar to The Day of the Dead, in that the concept is the loved ones that have passed away are coming back, but like this way they're like, it's like Day of the Dead meets The Walking Dead. So they're coming back as zombies, which I thought was a very interesting take. Like, obviously zombies are nothing new, but most of the zombie books that you read, oh, by the way, it's a graphic novel, sorry. Most of the zombie books that you read are going to focus on survival, whereas this one focused on, okay, yes, we have this element that is occurring, but we're still going about our lives through the rest of the years, because it doesn't happen every single year. It's like, I think 4 years in between or something like that. But I might be wrong. It might be less than that or more than that. I don't know. It doesn't really give that much of a timeline. It just kind of, it stated that the last one was 4 years ago. So make of that what you will. But this one followed a family who was for some reason splitting up. And now these zombies don't necessarily mean you harm, but they're zombies, so like, you know, shit happens. You know what I mean? So there's that. I think that this book, oh, did I mention that I gave this book a 3 stars? This book got 3 stars. And then the Day of the Dead, or Dead Day, got 3 stars. I enjoyed it, and I think I would definitely pick up more in that series from that author. I know I just said I don't like series, but I would definitely pick up the second one or whatever else that author intends to throw out. And I read that one as a ebook from NetGalley. It was one of the ones that they were offering as you don't have to be approved, because I figured that if I could get a rating on there, NetGalley might approve me because I have 100% review rate. Is that how it goes? I don't know. So the next book, I actually read these next 2 books as well as that one all today. I just read all of the things today. The next book that I read was I Hope This Reaches Her in Time, and this is by R.H. Sin. So this is a pretty small, not very wordy poetry book, and it's, you know, a couple words here, a couple words there, a couple words there. You know, it's not very heavy on the words, but it does deal with some heavy topics. It kind of is about, well, I mean, I don't know how to say this. It's like he's trying to tell the girl, who presumably is you, basically the phrase that kept coming into my head the whole time I was reading this is, we accept the love we think we deserve. And I think that this poetry book sort of, it takes a deeper look on that concept of we accept the love we think we deserve, because throughout this book he's talking to this girl who presumably is us, and saying that, you know, well, you know, here's the thing, is the thing that didn't make sense to me, and which why I gave it 3 stars, is he switches from talking to the man that's not treating her right, us who is the girl, and himself at some point, or talking about himself. It switches perspectives once, I think, too. I mean, it was nice stuff, but for me personally, I don't know if I loved this one. I think that I gave it a 3 star. I'm interested to see what else this author has. I know that he has several other collections, and I would be interested in picking some of them up potentially. The final book on my wrap-up is another book that I read today, and it is called The Deep, and this is by River Solomon. This is based on a song that was written by Clipper, which is Daveed Diggs' band, and this one is definitely heavy. Very, very heavy. It is a short book. I read it on audiobook, which, by the way, if you can read this book on audiobook, do that, because it is narrated by Daveed Diggs, and honestly, you deserve it. Self-care, self-love, you deserve it. Read it on audiobook. So I listened to that today while I was cleaning and diamond painting and stuff like that. I just used it as a, I used the things that I had to do today, and I read the book while I was doing it as a way to sort of pass the time easier. I read it on 1.5 speed. Normally I read audiobooks on 2 times speed, but I really wanted to take my time with this, but I didn't want to read it in 1 time speed, so like a happy medium, you know? But this book is about, and this is a heavy topic, so caution ahead. But most of you, I'm sure, have either heard of this book or already read it, because it is not a new release or anything like that, but it's something that I was interested in. I was originally saw it on somebody else's wrap-up, and then I saw it again on someone else's wrap-up. Oh my gosh, what is her name? Kelly, I think? She's a booktube newbie, and we're both, you know, well, we're both booktube newbies. But this book is about the slave trade, and on the ships they would throw the pregnant women off of the boat, and this is sort of a taking of a travesty and turning it into a myth. oh no, I'm gonna butcher the name. They are essentially like mer people, but they live in the deep, which is why the book is called The Deep. Side note, you should absolutely listen to The Deep by Clipper, W. Diggs band. But it's essentially about their sort of coming of their origin and stuff like that. And obviously they're already an established people in the novel. However, you are learning that they have one collective memory, and it's called, this person is called a historian. And this being is responsible for keeping all of the memories of their time. And it was such a powerful and impactful read, and it was a short read. It was a 4-hour audiobook. It was what I would consider an essential read. It was very powerful, very impactful, and something that's definitely going to stick with me for a long time. We get to see so many aspects of this travesty turned into sort of folklore, and you know, it was definitely something that I recommend reading. And because it's so short, I mean, why not? I listened to it in a day along with reading 2 other books today, so it's definitely something that I recommend. And those are the books that I read in the month of the last week of February. So here's my pitiful stack. Can I, maybe I'll go to a white wall and pose in front of it for my thumbnail. But regardless, here's my pitiful stack. I look forward to reading more books in the month of March, fingers crossed, and I'm definitely excited to jump back into the world of audiobooks, because of course we can get into a much broader and deeper conversation about audiobooks, and does it count for reading, and should you have reader's guilt. And of course, while the answer is yes, they count as reading, no, you shouldn't have reader's guilt, I still do. So I am excited to have picked up an audiobook today on a whim, and really have enjoyed it. So I'm excited to see what else I can get from Scribd, maybe in the month of March. And that is going to do it for today's video. If you like this video, please, oh wait, tell me what you read in the month of February? Tell me what you read in the month of February in the comments down below. Alright, that is it for today's video. If you like this video, please give me a thumbs up. If you like me and would like to see more from me, please hit subscribe. I would be so happy to have you. Alright, I hope that you are being safe, wash your hands, taking care of yourselves. Bye guys.